The modern diet is absolutely cooked. And I'm not even talking about ultra processed foods. I'm talking about everything and anything that you are eating. It's all a joke. The average nutritionist honestly knows nothing these days. It is terribly sad. They are all basing everything off of corrupt studies funded by massive corporate companies. Every fad diet, every superfood that you know is probably not even that good for you. There is a real way to eat. There is a real way that actually boosts your hormones, that actually makes you feel good, and that actually improves your health and your looks. And I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, exactly how to eat, and the best way to go about it. No lies, no scams, just some pure and straight knowledge. Okay, first things off the bat, there are essentially four powerful food groups that you need to leverage your diet from, and they are eggs, red meat, raw dairy, and fruit. Those are the four key pillars of your diet. And all I need you to do, just to prove that this makes sense, is go back in time, think about hunters and gatherers, think about the way that humans have been intended to eat. If you go back in time and think about it, hunters and gatherers would walk around all day. When they saw an animal, they'd sprint after the animal, kill the animal, and eat the entire animal. At the same time, they would pick fruit that was naturally growing, and they would consume that fruit. Fruit and meat should be the foundations of your diet. Eggs are great as well, and raw dairy, fundamental. Starchy carbs are the most overrated thing that you could possibly imagine. The idea of chicken, rice, and broccoli is a joke. Obviously, calories are a part of the equation, but at the same time, they are not the whole picture. If you boost your metabolism, if you boost your thyroid, if you boost your micronutrient intake, if you boost everything from a base level, every process, every system in your body will function at a higher level. And the fundamental part of all of this is eggs, red meat, raw dairy, fruit. That easy. And you may be thinking, what about starchy carbs? Well, that is the second point. You don't need starchy carbs. It is one of the biggest lies. You need to think about it like this. Go back in time again. Agriculture wasn't invented until we made it a thing a couple thousand years ago. We planted the seeds. Potatoes and rice and wheat and barley didn't just grow in the ground. We planted them, we created agriculture, and therefore, even though it's been around for a long time, it is still not going to be as naturally digestible as what we are intended to eat: meat, fruit, eggs, and raw dairy. It's that simple. And I'm not telling you to go full carnivore and cut out carbs. Think about it. I'm telling you to consume fruits, which is an amazing source of carbohydrates. And especially, a lot of the alarm bells are going to be going off in your head. Oh, but they're high in fructose, they're high in sugar. Listen, there is a deeper argument to all of this. And the bigger argument to all of this is insulin resistance. You need to realize that the more and more fruit you eat, and there are various studies supporting this, and I might even just compile a list of studies to link in the comment section for everyone about to flame me. There are so many studies that show the more fruit that you consume, the less insulin resistant you become. As in, there is a big difference between having a mango with 30 grams of sugar versus a little Coke with 1 gram of aspartame additive sugar. There is a big difference because your body can't break down the non-natural sugar. And so even though the mango has 30 grams of sugar, your body breaks it down, your body becomes less insulin resistant, it uses the energy more efficiently because it is from a natural source, and therefore it boosts your insulin sensitivity so you can deal with more and more sugar in the future. And therefore, there is a big difference between fructose and natural sugars versus other sugars in your diet. Don't fear fruit sugar at all. And at the same time, fruits are fundamental for replenishing your glycogen, which is the most underrated thing that no one talks about. You need to constantly replenish your glycogen throughout the day. It is fundamental and it is so powerful, especially for your T3, especially for your thyroid, for your energy, for your workouts, for everything. Fruit is fundamental. Do not fear at all, and don't fall for the lie of carnivore. Also, don't fall for the lie of consuming, chicken, rice, and broccoli and starchy carbs, which are full of anti-nutrients like oxalates, lectins, and phytic acid. But I'll get onto that later. Now, we've nailed the first two pillars of this diet. We've incorporated the right four key food groups, and we've understood why we need to limit the amount of starchy carbs we're consuming and integrate more fruits. Now, what I want to talk about is the sourcing of your raw dairy, because I feel like a lot of you will be reluctant. Oh, I can't have raw milk. Some of you will be completely comfortable with it, but there is a slight nuance to this that you need to consider. There is a big difference between A1 dairy and A2 dairy, along with raw versus pasteurized dairy. Ideally, you get raw A2 dairy, and that is what's going to be naturally digested by your system. It's going to have the most digestive enzymes. It's going to have the most bioavailable sources of calcium, of micronutrients, of beneficial amino acids, everything. The reason being, and A1 cows, like A1 cows themselves, are a breed of cows or a type of cow. It is not naturally digestible when we consume dairy from A1 cows. They are a genetic mutation that were never supposed to occur. It occurred around 10,000 years ago, and A1 cows are just not naturally digestible. They release a highly inflammatory substance in our body called BMC7, which wreaks havoc on your gut lining and does you no justice. And that's why everyone says, oh, avoid dairy for clear skin. Yes, avoid A1 low quality pasteurized dairy because it is not good for you. It is estrogenic. It is bad for your gut. It has no benefits, honestly. But there is a really fine line because if you get to the good stuff, if you can get A2 raw dairy, it is insanely powerful for you. It has the perfect calcium to phosphorus ratio, which is insane for your bones. It is bioavailable in so many key nutrients. At the same time, a lot, especially high quality ones, will have lactoferrin. They'll have bioavailable sources of things like hemopoxin, active substances like IGF-1, probiotics, which will help your gut. It is so powerful. It won't help hurt your skin. It will only help it. It will only boost your overall health, and it is fundamental as part of your diet. If you can't get raw milk, at least consume raw cheese. And at the same time, obviously, I've only talked about cows, but all sheep and goats are A2. So if you can get raw sheep or raw goat milk, even better. Raw goat milk is insanely bioavailable, and lactoferrin is insanely beneficial. And if you want to take it one step further, I won't, freak you out with too much information, but raw colostrum is the upper echelons of everything for bioavailable IGF-1 to boost bone growth, reheal your gut, and boost all of the right processes. But raw dairy, raw and A2. Some cows are A2, so make sure you're very careful about it. Some are A1, but all sheep and goats are A2. Those are the criteria for consuming the right amount and the right version of dairy. It's fundamental. Don't consume A1 pasteurized dairy. If you think you still need it, you don't. Just cut it out. If you can't get your hands on raw milk or raw A2 dairy, completely cut out A1 pasteurized dairy. It is not worth it at all. And for those of you that fear, unpasteurized milk still, if it's from a clean source, if it is from a farm, ideally, it will have natural digestive enzymes, which will only be beneficial for your gut health, only positively impact you. Do not fear raw milk at all. Like, the amount of people that actually get sick from it is a joke. It is insanely small, and it is usually from other aspects of their diet, things like processed food rather than natural milk. Go back in time. Of course, we weren't, boiling the milk, 1,000 years ago. That's not saying you need to consume raw meat and, go hunt your own animals, but just think about it a bit logically. And there are hundreds of studies supporting this, and I may go into more detail in the future if you want me to, but I'm trying not to rinse this video and make it, an hour long. Okay, so we've nailed the basics of the diet. Now what I want to talk about is something fundamental, which would have been rinsed and shoved down your throat through TikTok and Instagram, but I just need to highlight the importance. Again, stop consuming seed oils. They are terrible. Stop consuming PUFAs. They are terrible. You need to realize that they are so rich in linoleic acid, which is terrible for you. It promotes chronic inflammation by releasing these things called procytokines in your gut, which basically lurch onto your gut lining, prevent everything from rehealing, ruin everything. Your gut is your body's command center. It's linked to your skin, your brain, every process in your body. If you damage your gut, if you don't allow it to reheal, if you create chronic inflammation, everything becomes worse. Your health becomes worse. You feel worse. You look worse. It's as simple as that. Cut out seed oils. And especially one quick, powerful tip to think about is do not cook with olive oil. Olive oil is completely fine to put on top of things. It is it's a nice source of positive fats, but it has a low smoking point. And when you cook with it, eggs and past a certain smoking point in a pan, it denatures and essentially becomes a seed oil. Cook with tallow, coconut oil, butter, or ghee, but make sure the butter is grass-fed and from a clean source if you choose to go that route. I should say this, and this is not to scare you or fearmonger you, but seed oils do stay in your system for so long. It takes around 8 weeks to get rid of 90% plus of the harmful effects, and even after that, they'll stay in your system. So you need to kind of make sure that you reset, go fully clean for around 7-8 weeks. That is the absolute key. You need to go completely clean. You need to reset your gut. You need to stick to this diet. You need to maintain consistency and discipline. Do not fall for the idea or that people will say to you of eat 80% clean and 20% bad. That is an absolute joke. This diet isn't meant to be terribly hard. It's not like carnivore. It doesn't make you feel terrible. You don't have cravings. You can have sugar. You can get rid of your cravings. You can consume fruit, consume raw honey. You can consume raw milk ice cream for all you want. You can have whatever you want, but just stick to these foods. Don't consume the processed stuff. Don't consume the seed oils. Get high quality sourcing. It is such a worthwhile investment. You will enjoy the diet. You will feel better. That will leak into every aspect of your life where you have more energy. Your dopamine cycle's better. You'll be more fulfilled in your work, more fulfilled in your purpose, more active, more like you'll get bigger benefits in the gym. You'll put on more muscle easy. You'll lose fat more easily. Everything becomes so much easier, particularly when you realize the difference of switching from a completely terrible diet, even if you think it's healthy, to this diet. The difference is insane. Now, the final piece of the puzzle is fasting. And I know some of you will have different goals. Some of you will be looking to bulk up. Some of you will be looking to get leaner. This applies to both of you. However, there are slightly different habits that I want you to use regarding this technique. If you're trying to get leaner, fasting once a week for 36 hours is super powerful. It will reset your gut lining, promote more growth hormone, promote more testosterone, and at the same time, allow you to reach your caloric deficit in order to get leaner. At the same time, if you're trying to bulk up, what I would say is fasting is still beneficial because it promotes the right hormones and will re-heal your gut and allow you to get the real benefits from this diet so that you can therefore progress in every other aspect. But I would only do a fast once a month. And I would say a lot of you will be complaining, oh, how do I get my calories from just eating fruit and red meat? Just eat more. You know, if you really want, consume a load of raw milk and put raw egg yolks in it, mix it around. It's free calories, it's free nutrients. It is so easy. It is not hard to bulk up on this diet. I literally struggle to eat less than 3,000 calories at night. I'm trying to get leaner at the moment. It is insanely easy. People just think it's difficult because they've got some like mental block that they need to, you know, consume a pound of rice every day. Stick to the diet, incorporate fasting once a week if you're trying to get leaner. It will reach your autophagy, re-heal your gut lining, and make sure everything progresses faster while getting leaner. At the same time, if you're trying to bulk up, do the same, but only do it once a month and just to eat more. By the way, one quick tip is never eat, 2 or 3 hours before bed. It is really powerful whether you're bulking or cutting. Do not eat a couple hours before bed. Your body, and when you sleep, needs to focus on producing the right hormones and restoring, not digesting. Even if you haven't reached your calories for the day and you're trying to bulk up and hit, 10,000 calories a day or whatever, do not eat 2 hours before sleeping. Please don't. You won't get the benefits. You won't sleep well. And as a result, your body won't restore properly, put on muscle, and benefit in any way. Stick to this diet. Now, all of these pillars, it is fundamental. Just go off, try it, see how you feel in a week. When you come back to me and you thank me, then you'll see who is right. It may be difficult to switch from, your kind of standard diet, which may even be working for you already, to this. And you may think I'm nuts. You may think this doesn't work. I will link scientific studies, but at the same time, don't stop yourself and don't limit yourself just because you feel you're healthy already. You don't understand how healthy you can be. You don't understand how much progress you can make. You do not understand how good you are supposed to feel. That's the thing that no one realizes. If you try this, you will feel like a god. It is that simple. Stick to it. Stay disciplined. Be consistent and go for it. And if you need any more help, if you want more accountability, if you want more specific info about grocery lists or specific diets to use based on your personal goals, specific foods to eat, everything to incorporate, along with info on pretty much everything you could possibly want to become healthier and better looking. The link to my school community is in the bio. I won't self-promote it too much, but I am launching a $2,000 challenge during January where I'm going to be giving away thousands. First place alone will get $1,000. It is only $39 a month. So if you want to make money, reach your goals, become healthier, and go crazy in 2025, it is free money if you actually commit to it. If you stick with this, why not join? At the same time, I'm still going to make free YouTube videos. Stay locked in, stay committed, stop being absolutely cooked, and nail this diet. I believe in all of you. We're all going to ascend together.